Well, good afternoon, ladies. Today I have a presentation for you. I'm your presenter, Anna Yeli Zuniga. Today my presentation is about cell phones. Okay? So first thing I want to share with you. So back in 1908, there was this one man. He decided that he came up with the idea to have a wireless phone. Unfortunately, at that time, everybody thought he was crazy. They actually accused him of fraud. Years later, the charges were dropped, and it wasn't until 1983 that Motorola actually put out the first cell phone. And it was a nice $4,000. Oh, great price. And a great 30 minutes of battery time. Can you imagine us walking around with 30 minutes of battery time?
Wow.
It would be.
Could not.
No, the toddlers would go crazy. Crazy. So if you don't mind, could you introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, I'm Ashton. I'm actually a current nurse, but I'm going back to school to get my BSN. So I'm actually interested in buying a phone now.
Perfect.
Well, my name is Marela, and I just graduated from college, and I applied to med school, so I'll be starting med school in springtime. So yeah, I need a cell phone too. So this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great. The reason I would be a great expert for you guys when it comes to purchasing the best phone for you is I'm also a student, okay? So my expertise will help you make the best decision in buying the perfect phone that fits you, okay? So let's look at our options, okay? So when it comes to our prices, we have our Apple phone, which is actually, it's gonna be the middle as far as our pricing. It's gonna be in the mid-range. Our actually highest price phone is gonna be the Samsung phone. I know I was a bit surprised also. I actually thought that the Apple phone would be the most expensive, but it's not. And when you're looking at the least expensive, you can have an LG for a pretty reasonable price. Okay, another thing we're gonna look at is features. So one of the features that Apple phones do have is FaceTime. So you know when you have people that don't live in the same country as you or in the same city, Apple does have FaceTime, which you can see and speak to your family members or friends. It also has a watch. It also has ability to synchronize, so you can synchronize your desktop, which is a Mac, one of the varieties that Apple has, and even your TV, okay? Features for Samsung, one of the things that recently came out for Samsung is the folding phone. So one of the reasons I would recommend this phone for students is because it's a lightweight tablet in a sense, and then it folds to be a phone. So it's pretty handy, okay? It also does have a watch, so Samsung does have watches. So they are competing with Apple on that portion. For LG, one of the things for LG is, of course, it is the cheapest phone. Now, this would not apply to you guys, but LG has made phones to be very easily used for senior citizens. That's one of the things that they stand out when you're looking at these products, which would not necessarily apply to you, but just so you know, okay? When it comes to warranty, your Apple phone and your Samsung phone is gonna give you a 1-year warranty, okay? And then your LG, they actually have a lower warranty at 6 months to a year, okay? Customer reviews, of course, this part really depends on people's opinion, you know? Nowadays, people rely on that to make their purchases. When we're looking at customer reviews, Apple does have the highest reviews. Okay, moving along. So I just wanted to show you what they look like. So this is what your Apple phone would look like. This is your Samsung, pretty neat. And then this is your LG.
Tropical.
All right, so my suggestion, based on what we already have, with you both being students, is just depending on what you guys would want from a phone. So with you aspiring to be a nurse, I'm thinking I would recommend for you the Apple phone, because you want to have different synchronizations to all the electronics that you have. And maybe as a doctor, aspiring doctor, maybe I would recommend the LG for you. But I want to get any questions that you may have.
So for me, going back to school, I'm really keen on organization, and that's really important to me as far as being able to set reminders and things like that, and to be able to use everything in a way that is just mainly set on organization, things like that. What type of phone would you recommend for that?
Okay, so I kind of jumped the gun, and so I do recommend the Apple phone for you, because you can synchronize instead of having to set an appointment on your phone and then you have to go back and set it on your desktop. With the Apple, you can set it on your phone and it will synchronize so that you will get a message on your watch and you will get a message on your phone after you've only entered it once on one of your electronic devices. So I would recommend the Apple phone for you.
Good. And my question is, I really need a phone that is budget friendly. From the options that you're showing us today, what would you recommend for someone with a student budget? I can't really be spending that much, but I still want a really good quality phone. What do you recommend?
Okay, so with all three products, the things that they do, all three of them, is they make calls, text messages, which is essentially what you both need. What I would recommend for you as going into med school would be your LG, because that's going to be the most inexpensive phone that will still make calls, text messages. You can make appointments on there. You just won't have that watch or that desktop as the Apple. So I would recommend the LG. Now I do want to remind you guys that unfortunately, you may already know that college students spend 90% of their time on cell phones, unfortunately, just because we've gotten so used to them and we use them for everything. So actually, I would also recommend that phone because it's not going to have all the tech stuff that might keep you on it, and it'll help you stay focused on your studies, which is what you need. Okay? All right. Well, that is it for my presentation. Thank you.